head coach of the UCLA Bruins, is with us right now. Chip, appreciate you giving us a couple minutes here. I remember having a conversation with you a couple weeks back. We were there for a game. We had a blast with you and your staff. And you kept using the phrase, we're young and we're our guys just at bats and the more and more reps.
Sure.
Before we even talk about your class and the guys that are going to make a difference in the next couple seasons, just take me through the development of the program and what you saw and how proud you were down the stretch for the progress of your players.
And we did have a lot of young players, and at sometimes maybe forced to play a little bit earlier than we had planned. But I thought they responded fantastic, and they're just going to benefit from that experience of getting out on the field. You know, our left tackle, Sean Ryan, played every snap as a true freshman, and then 3 games in, once we started to get into conference play, or after the out-of-conference, Duke Clemens stepped in at left guard, and to watch those 2 guys specifically, they're kind of a microcosm of what we talked about. Every game they got better. Their last game was probably their best game, and we're excited about them and the rest of the kids from a future standpoint because with the exception of linebacker on the defensive side of the ball, in which we tried to address today, everybody's coming back. You know, we lost 1 offensive lineman and a running back. All the receivers are back. All the tight ends are back. All the quarterbacks are back. 4 offensive linemen are back. The whole D-line's back. The whole secondary is back. Now, really trying to plug in what we lost at linebacker because that's a huge loss to us in terms of losing those guys. So.
Yeah, let's go right to that position, Coach. I believe you signed 6 linebackers today. Shea Bryant Strother, he's somebody, when I watched him, I said, wow, this guy athletically moves all over. What did you notice and what made you go across the country to get him?
I think that the athleticism that he showed at his size, he's all at 230 pounds. He could play both inside and outside. Comes from a very athletic family. His brother was a 4-year starter in basketball at BYU and is actually playing overseas right now, I think in Israel. A heck of an athlete and also a really, really good student. And to be honest with you, will not take credit for recruiting him. He kind of recruited us. You know, he sought us out, and we got a chance to look at his film and then see what type of student he is and what type of player he was at Greater Atlanta Christian, and said, hey, we'd love to have you be a part of it. He was a national recruit, but, you know, I think he could have an impact early because physically he's built that he could play early for you.
Yeah, I feel like another guy from Georgia and Miles Jackson. Who recruited him? Because however he got there, I'm glad he's there.
Yeah, same thing. Miles recruited us too. And it's funny, those guys are about 20 minutes away from each other. And Miles' dad is a former famous Harlem Globetrotter. So had played, we were there on the visit talking about playing in Poly Pavilion and another kid that's a 230-pound linebacker already coming out of high school. Both of them are early enrollees, so we'll be on campus here on January 6th. Can both play inside, both play outside. But kind of what we were looking for from a size component, toughness component, and athletic component, you know, with both those guys.
Coach, you just dropped the phrase, hey, 2 guys that had reached out to us. And I know that happens for every program across the country. It's a unique situation at UCLA because of the academics as well. I remember when I was on campus, you were talking to us about some of the innovative things that you guys do in terms of practice on the football field. Curious the way the game has changed, recruiting with the portal and all those types of deals. Is there something that's different that's giving you a competitive advantage in terms of recruiting that you guys are doing maybe this season that you weren't happen to be doing maybe when you were in Eugene?
No, I think recruiting itself has just ramped up. You know, I think that was one of the adjustments as we came back from the NFL was you laugh and people joke, but people are offering kids in junior high now. You know, and I don't know how you can project a junior high kid to what he's going to be like in college, but I think the whole process has kind of just sped up. But I still think you still have to take your time and do your due diligence because this process is about, is the student athlete the right fit for your university? And all these universities just in the Pac-12 are distinctly different, and they all have their strengths and they all have their weaknesses. And the key is, does the kid find the right school, and does the school find the right kid? So when kids reach out to us from outside of what we call our footprint, and the footprint for us is the Pac-12 plus Hawaii, is we really just kind of go through that and make sure that they understand that we're not close. But that doesn't mean that it's not the right fit for them. And are they comfortable with that? Because we have an outstanding coaching staff here, but we cannot make this school closer to kids who live at a distance. And so they have to be comfortable with that. And both Che and Miles were. You know, and we have Kenny Mestador, who's coming from Connecticut prep school, who's actually from Canada and went to prep school in Connecticut to kind of better himself and give himself an opportunity, and that worked for him. And then our quarterback is from New Hampshire. So we do have kids that have come from the other side of the country. But this school has an international appeal, and I think that's what resonated with them.
Coach, I want to double down and see if I can go 3 for 3 with linebackers that recruited you, Caleb Johnson, one of the most intriguing stories of how he ended up at UCLA. I think he played for Texas literally last year in a game against Rice. How'd that one happen?
I think he just wanted to get back home. I know Coach Herman real well, and I talked to Herm, and Herm told me, give me a week because we're trying to keep him. Honestly. And I said, whatever you need, Herm. And then Herm called me and said, I talked to him about going back home, and if he wants to go back home, he should go to your place. And Caleb came over and visited, and it's a good fit. I just think he wanted to be closer to his family. And sometimes that happens when kids go away to school. They just maybe they want to get back home, and it was a really good fit for us. He was a kid that we looked at before he went to Texas. We're just glad we got a chance to get him back here on campus in Westwood.
Yeah, I think when we talk about fits, another guy that's close to home, you have kind of a pipeline from Pasadena. John Humphrey, to me, is one of the best DBs in the entire country, specifically this conference. How'd you land him, and where do you think he fits in early on with this defense?
Yeah, he's going to play corner for us. He's tall, he's long. We had him in camp and just fell in love with him. I think he's a multi-position player, but we'll start him at corner. And he's a local kid. He's a Pasadena kid that has played games in the Rose Bowl already as a high school player. Pasadena and Muir play down there, so it's been awesome for him, and he gets a chance to play in front of his mom and dad. The cool part about John, he's another early enrollee. We're going to have 7 to 8 early enrollees that I think will get a chance to come in and contribute for us next fall because they're going to be able to get here and go through the spring with us.
Coach, before we let you get going, I'm just curious now that signing day, obviously it's a huge day for your program. What do you do to take a breath?
You keep recruiting.
Okay.
Unfortunately, you really don't get a breath. It's unique. I don't think they've thought this through the whole way. I don't know why there's a second signing date. I think it should be today's a signing day, and then the kids can sign between now and February. And then if they haven't made their mind up, that they need a couple weeks in January, they can. But the fact that it closes down for 3 days and then starts back up again, then you got to scramble and see who hasn't signed, and then where are you? We only have a couple spots left, so we'll be very judicious in terms of who we take there. But there really is no rest. Recruiting is like shaving, and I didn't actually shave today, so you kind of look like a bum. But it's something that you got to do every day if you want to look good, and we'll continue to recruit every single day. So
not the response I was thinking. I thought you were going to tell me head to the beach, bring the drink with the umbrella out of it. Just kind of
that's Yogi. That's Yogi's life, not our life.
Come hang out, man. Come on down to Venice.
Come down to Venice. I'm going to go surfing on the weekend, but we're tied up for the next couple of days here, sorting out what kind of went through in this first phase of this, and then really what are we going to look at, with the last couple of scholarships that we have.
Coach, it's awesome to have you on the show as always. We had a blast when we were down at the Rose Bowl with you, your team, and the staff. So once again, congrats on the day, and looking forward to talking to you again real soon.
All right, Yammer. No, Nick. We couldn't get Nick out for signing day?
No, Nick is actually down surfing in Southern California.
Yeah, he's waiting in Venice. He's got, one of those cocktails. He's kind of hanging out.
I got to give him a call. Yeah. He used to miss signing day when he was on my staff in Oregon, so I didn't anticipate him being here. So
he doesn't want anything to do with this.
No, just get the players, Cal.
That actually sounds pretty familiar, but you got to have that little exactly, the growl in the voice. Chip, always a pleasure.
All right, guys. Thank you.